Available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. A Durham, North Carolina man is being charged with allegedly murdering his girlfriend after showing his girlfriend's dead body to a friend on FaceTime.
And new details this evening are shedding light on a Durham murder case involving a Duke nurse.
Cindy Bay spoke with the parents of 34-year-old Ariel Lowe, who was allegedly killed by her boyfriend last month.
I was really fortunate that I got to say how much I loved her because, I didn't know it was going to be our last conversation.
Teresa and Paul Lowe are deeply missing their daughter, Ariel Lowe, who was killed in her apartment on Laurel Springs Drive in September. Her boyfriend, 31-year-old Christopher Whitley, is facing a murder charge. According to a newly released 911 call, a woman claims to the dispatcher that Whitley allegedly confessed to killing his girlfriend. The Lowe's say they never met Whitley in person, who remains at the Durham County Jail, but Teresa, who is Ariel's stepmom, says she wishes there were safeguards on dating apps, saying they met online.
We just don't want her life to be taken in vain.
Ariel's death comes as officials say North Carolina set a horrifying record last year in domestic violence-related deaths. The North Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence is highlighting awareness.
The current number of domestic violence homicides so far this year is 54, which is already, one is too many. So 54 is higher than it was in 2018. It's higher than it was in 2022. It's frightening that it's still that high.
The coalition says anyone can play a role in ending domestic violence. They encourage people to seek out local resources if you don't feel safe at home. Reporting in Durham, Cindy Bay, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
The family of a Duke University nurse is mourning her death after prosecutors say she was killed by her boyfriend.
Right now, 31-year-old Christopher Whitley is in the Durham County Jail charged with murdering 34-year-old Ariel Lowe on Wednesday. CBS 17's Ben Boken joins us live. And Ben, police say they learned about Lowe's death after a 2-hour standoff.
Yeah, this is where police set up a perimeter with their rifles drawn before Whitley eventually surrendered after he barricaded himself inside of Ariel Lowe's apartment right there behind me here in South Durham. Now, I spoke with Lowe's father and stepmother this afternoon over the phone, and they live in California. They're shocked to hear the news.
Family members are remembering 34-year-old Ariel Lowe. They say she was a nurse at Duke Hospital.
All the words you've heard 1,000 times, they're so true. You just numb. You don't know what to feel, for a while. It's a unique kind of pain, losing a child.
In court today, a Durham County judge denied bond for 31-year-old Christopher Whitley. He's accused of murdering Lowe before a standoff with police at this apartment complex in South Durham. Her family tells us they believe she had only been dating Whitley for a couple of months and that the two likely met on a dating app.
She just wanted to make a difference in the world. That's why she was a nurse, because she tried to fix people. Even in this situation, she always tried to help people.
Her family tells me Ariel earned multiple college degrees and moved to Durham with dreams of becoming a nurse anesthesiologist.
If you didn't like Ariel, you don't like anybody in the world. Because her heart was
always in the right place.
Still plenty of unanswered questions for a family heartbroken, grieving Lowe's loss.
She wanted to be a mom. She wanted to find a good guy so she could settle down and have kids, and all that was taken away from her, all that promise. We're robbed of that part of her.
Now, today in court, prosecutors also said Whitley was formerly convicted for assaulting a family member in Texas. Now, police in this case are asking anyone with information to come forward and call the police department. We're live here in Durham. Ben Boken, CBS 17 News.
All right, Ben, thank you.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Durham, North Carolina, 31-year-old Christopher Whitley was charged with first-degree murder in the death of Ariel Lowe. Now, according to reports, Christopher Whitley allegedly murdered his girlfriend, then called a friend and showed them the dead body of his girlfriend and confessed to the crime on FaceTime, showing the dead body of Ariel Lowe laying on the floor. Now, after this friend got that disturbing call, they contacted police, and police came to the apartment where Christopher Whitley was living with Ariel Lowe, and Christopher Whitley barricaded himself inside of the apartment, but then eventually wound up surrendering to authorities and was taken into custody. Now, the police in Durham, North Carolina, see this as a disturbing, isolated incident of domestic violence, but when I take a critical examination of this entire disturbing event, it definitely fits the pattern and profile of cyber simps that I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and also fits the pattern and profile for a beta male and a psycho simp that I talk about in my books, The Man Crisis and Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And it's clear to me that after hearing the way that Ariel Lowe met Christopher Whitley, she didn't know the dangers of online dating, something I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, because a lot of people think that going on these dating apps and going on online dating is very harmless, but what they don't understand is that the people on online dating, in a lot of cases, are very dangerous. And when it comes to people who do online dating, especially a lot of individuals, a lot of these individuals are not very wrapped too tight and are extremely dangerous. Now, the people who usually go on online dating because they don't have many options, because they are extremely antisocial, and because these individuals are extremely antisocial, what happens is that they cannot go out here and have a social interaction with a woman in the real world or a man in the real world, and because they can't really again have those social interactions in the real world, they go on online dating, creating personas that they hide behind, and as they hide behind these personas, they look like the ideal for having a relationship with. But what many people don't know is that they're getting involved with a person who's basically like Dr. Jekyll, but basically as Mr. Hyde. And usually they don't get to meet Mr. Hyde until they wind up getting into a relationship with that man or woman. And that's when they start to show the whole antisocial side of themselves. And that's where people start to see the monster that's in this relationship. That's where they find out they're dealing with a monster, because this person basically, again, they cannot function in a healthy relationship, because if they could function in a healthy relationship, they would not be on online dating. No, they would be in the real world with real people. But sadly, when it came to Ariel Lowe, she didn't understand this tenet as related to online dating. And basically, this even goes back before online dating, because this was the same thing that happened in the personals in Lonely Hearts ads. The only people who would go out here and go on those those Lonely Hearts ads in the newspapers or to the dating pages in the personals or online dating were people who really did not know how to function socially. And again, these people were looking in many cases for somebody to prey on, and this is why many people wind up avoiding online on dating in the early days, and also avoided places like the personal ads even before then, because the people who again place these type of ads or go on and create these online profiles, they're not really again people who you want to deal with, because they again hide their dysfunction behind an online persona. And a lot of times again, you think you're dealing with Dr. Jekyll, but eventually you're going to run into Mr. Hyde. And sadly, this is what happened to this young sister. She basically ran into a Mr. Hyde in this by going on online dating, and she's been with this guy for a couple of months. And that's usually what happens with these guys, is again, everything will be going good with a guy on online dating in a couple of months, but then eventually the monster is going to come out. And once that monster comes out, that's where that woman really realizes that she really got a lemon, but the reason why she got the lemon is because she didn't go through the proper process as related to courtship. And again, the proper process as related to courtship is, again, you have to, again, meet someone face to face. Again, not through online dating, but again, with other people who can vouch for this person's character and allow you to vet their character. Again, when it comes to online dating, you miss out on that process of, again, having their character vouched for and having somebody vet their character. And again, without that process of, again, verification and vetting, what happens is that you're dealing with a stranger who may put you in danger as related to your life, and you may be dealing with a ticking time bomb of an individual when you go on online dating, and you don't know how dangerous this person is until you're in the apartment or you're in someplace private with them and they can't get their way. And again, that's the point where you see Dr. Jekyll turn into Mr. Hyde and turn into a monster because they couldn't get what they wanted. And when they couldn't get what they wanted, this is where they will show you how sick they actually are and how twisted they actually are. I mean, this happens to men just like it happened to women, because I did a video about a white girl who did this to a young black man who thought he was going to go out here and have an easy hookup, but then wound up getting caught up in a place where he was tied up and stabbed. Again, these people are out here, they're extremely dangerous, and again, they're going on online dating. They're not looking for love. They're looking for somebody to harm. And when I looked at this guy's picture, again, I look in his eyes, I see the 1,000-yard stare of an antisocial individual. And sadly, a lot of young women, again, don't know how to read a person, and they'll get with this guy thinking, oh, he looked good. Oh, he looks fine. He looks real nice. He's talking and saying what I want to hear. He's making me feel good for a minute. And you're thinking you're going the road to a relationship with a regular man, but you don't know that you're dealing with a man in crisis. A man in crisis who basically is looking for another victim as related to being in another object for him to gratify himself sexually with, as related to his secret world. Because when it comes down to these guys, again, they don't have healthy relationships where they're out in the open. No, they have relationships in a place I call the secret world. And to them, women are objects that they, again, have to, again, sate their feelings. And again, once they don't get to sate their feelings and keep their world smooth, that's where they believe they have a right to take a person's life. And this is where this guy killed his girlfriend and then switched to FaceTime, showed a friend nonchalantly like nothing happened. Again, showing me how antisocial this guy basically was. He had absolutely no regard for this woman's life whatsoever. And what's really scary is that this woman didn't know how much danger she was in being with this guy. She didn't know that she was dealing, again, with a ticking time bomb, an antisocial sociopath possibly, who again had no regard for human life, because to call a friend and again nonchalantly say, hey, I just murdered my girlfriend, and switch to FaceTime, that shows me sociopathic possible behavior as related to things. And the scary part, again, is that when you go on online dating, you don't know if you're dealing with one of these individuals, because usually that's who goes on online dating. No, regular people, they meet either through friends or they can go out here and, again, introduce themselves. They don't need online dating profiles, and that's what people need to understand. If you meet them on a dating app, chances are you're dealing with a nutcase in many cases, or somebody who really has some serious issues. No, healthy people don't do online dating. Only disturbed individuals do online dating, and usually you don't know what you're going to get into until you get into it. Now, after taking the life of this young woman, this guy basically has now set himself up where he's going to not be on online dating, but he'll be doing some dating inside of the penitentiary. And as he's doing some dating in the penitentiary with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, he may reap what he sows, later than what he sows, greater than what he sows, when he's basically traded for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand mango drink, off-brand kiwi strawberry drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand windmill cookies, beef summer sausage, beef jerky with cheese, Fritos chips, Hunt's snack pack pudding, packets of Cheetos, packets of hot peppers, packets of honey hot pickles, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, packets of honey mustard. I mean, they gonna be turning this guy out as they go out here participating in some inmate dating, and as they go out here and turn out the front side and the back side of this dude, Mr. Sprinkles eventually will come in, spray the front side and the back side with special sauce, and that's where this guy is going to realize that he basically wound up again in a place that's worse than online dating, in the penitentiary, because he's going to be there possibly for the rest of his life, after taking the life of this young black nurse, again, having no regard for her life, and they're not going to have any regard for his life inside of that prison. But this whole case basically, again, shows me another reason why you shouldn't go into cyberspace looking for love, because what's online are a lot of these antisocial cyber simps. Again, when it comes down to these cyber simps, you can get somebody who's benign, like a simp who they just give you money, or you can run into one of these psycho simps. And sadly, what happened here is that this young woman ran into one of these psycho simps, and now she's no longer with us because nobody taught her about the dangers of online dating. She thought, oh, I can meet a man here. No, you can't meet a man here on online dating. No, what's on online dating are antisocial individuals who basically are extremely dangerous. And again, the thing is, people don't know the danger they're in on online, because again, these people create personas, they create personalities that you find appealing, but the whole thing is that, again, like Dr. Jekyll, it looks nice on the outside, but you don't know if you're running into a Mr. Hyde. And the sad part is many men and women don't know if they're going to run into a Mr. Hyde, and this is why smart people avoid online dating and only deal with people in real life. Now, if you want to learn about the dangers of online dating, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, which talks in depth about all of the dangers online as related to dating and relationships. And if you want to learn more about how to identify predators like this, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, to learn more about how these people behave and operate. And if you also want to learn about how to break out of the simp paradigm so that you don't go to places like online dating looking for love, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon. All these books are available on Amazon.com, and they're available at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to see me make more videos about cyber simps or the simps and the man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.